All right, guys, what's up? We're back at it again on today. And today we're going to do an in-depth study on the running back position. We're going to talk a little bit about Barry Sanders. We're going to talk about some former running backs. And we're going to talk about the greatness of Barry Sanders, why the Detroit Lions have not been able to replace Barry Sanders since 1999. The Detroit Lions have pretty much not been able to find a running back to be able to be featured in the backfield. And the Detroit Lions have had several running backs over the years. To be exact, 14 running backs that I can name to you right now. Names I'll give you right now. Greg Hill, who was the running back right behind Barry Sanders when he retired. And then after that, you had James Stewart. Then you had Sean Bryson. You had Kevin Jones, Kevin Smith, Javid Best, Mikael LaShore, Reggie Bush, Drake Bell, Amir Abdullah, Theo Riddick, Zach Zenner, Kerryon Johnson, and Bo Scarborough. And none of these guys, as of yet, has been able to do what Barry Sanders has done. Now, if you know anything about Barry Sanders in his prime was definitely on top of his game. He had 10 seasons in a row where he rushed over 1,000 yards. And that is not easy to do, to be able to be productive year in and year out. But Barry Sanders was that type of running back. He brought that type of productivity to the Detroit Lions. But I want to talk about three other running backs that was pretty close to trying to pull off some Barry likeness. And I want to talk about James Stewart. Now, a year after Greg Hill, James Stewart came in and pretty much was the starting running back after he came from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he had 2 seasons where he rushed over 1,000 yards. He had 1,184 yards, and then he had 1,021 yards. And then you also have Kevin Jones, who had 1,000 yards rushing in the backfield for the Lions as well. He had over 1,133 yards in the backfield, and we thought that Kevin Jones was going to be that guy, but no. And then in 2013, we had no other than Reggie Bush, who definitely was a Heisman winner, just like Barry Sanders. And we thought that Reggie Bush was going to be with the team for a very, very long time and that he would close out his career as a Detroit Lion, but that did not happen. But Reggie Bush did rush over 1,000 yards with the Detroit Lions. So we got to give Reggie his props. But now it's a new day. And I definitely think that the Detroit Lions need to take a look at Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is a prospect like no other. As I looked at highlights, as I looked at film breakdown and things of that nature, I really looked at Jonathan Taylor as a guy that has done something out on the football field that a lot of these running backs have not done. Jonathan Taylor has been special since day one as a freshman. As coming in as a freshman, Jonathan Taylor had 299 carries for 1,977 yards rushing with an average of 6.6 and 13 touchdowns. And then in 2018, his sophomore season, Jonathan Taylor had 307 carries for 2,194 yards with an average carry of 7.1. And then you go into the last season, 2019, Jonathan Taylor eclipsed another 2,000 yard season. He had 320 carries for 2,003 yards and the average carry of 6.3 out of the backfield. So in his total collegiate career, Jonathan Taylor has amassed 926 carries for 6,174 yards with 50 touchdowns. And pretty much, guys, Jonathan Taylor has been box office in college. This guy pretty much was 23 yards away from having 3 seasons where he rushed over 2,000 yards. Detroit Lions, if you're looking for a running back, look no other or look no further than Jonathan Taylor. You have to invest in a running back. Kerryon Johnson has been solid, but his injuries have derailed his career a little bit. I don't know what Kerryon is going to look like this season, but what I do know is that Jonathan Taylor is a generational talent. Jonathan Taylor is one of the best running backs in this draft class, and the Detroit Lions definitely need to take a look at Jonathan Taylor. The Lions need to get that run game going. They have not been able to do it for years. I mean, you had the three guys in James Stewart, Kevin Jones, and Reggie Bush that was effective in times of old. But now you have to look to the future. And when you want a bright future, you have to look for a player that stands out. And Jonathan Taylor stands out above the rest. Yeah, there's J.K. Dobbins. There's the DeAndre Swift. And there's other running backs that are good in the draft, Zach Moss. And you have other guys. But I think that Jonathan Taylor is a generational talent. His productivity warrants it. The Lions must find a running back that can be featured, that can take the pressure off Matthew Stafford. You don't know what you're going to get out of Kerryon Johnson this season. We know that Bo Scarborough came in and did with the best job that he could do. And Bo Scarborough was pretty decent for the Lions. But you need a running back that's going to be in the backfield, that's going to release nothing but punishment on defenses in the NFL. And I definitely think that Jonathan Taylor is a guy that can do it all. I mean, look how many carries this guy has had. Jonathan Taylor is only 21 years old, and he has already carried the ball 926 times in college, letting you know he is a workhorse type running back, a guy that can get it done. Now, I know that Jonathan Taylor needs to work on his pass protection. As I watch film, you always got to look for the weakness in the running back as well. But the things that I saw that Jonathan Taylor did was break arm tackles and excel up the field. And he's a guy that can hit the home run. And I definitely think that the Detroit Lions must consider a prospect like him. You need a running back like Jonathan Taylor. Whether or not the Detroit Lions are able to get their hands on Jonathan Taylor, this is a guy that they better keep in mind, especially in the second round, or if the Lions decide to trade down. If you can get Jonathan Taylor, you do it. You sell the farm to get a running back like this. Jonathan Taylor impressed. A lot of people didn't know that Jonathan Taylor had 4.3, 4.39 speed. Because when you look at him on the field, he just looks like he's running. But you didn't know that he was as fast as he is. So I say again, the Detroit Lions must take a look at Jonathan Taylor, because I definitely think that Jonathan Taylor is box office. All right, you guys, I'll be back to you soon with another video. I'm out of here. Peace.